let's get into family with Mr. David Rees.
Okay, thank you, Liz, for that left-wing polemic. It's enough to break me of my compulsive liberal arts habit of constantly checking my privilege as a heterosexual white male who is also incredibly wealthy and powerful. But I think just this once, I'm not going to check my privilege. So we've had a lot of fun here tonight. We've been laughing and banding about jokes and good-natured jibes and all these things, and it's really nice to hear everybody laughing. But that's going to come to an end now, because I actually have the proverbial ace up my sleeve. I have what I think is going to end this debate, if not prematurely, then definitely emphatically. And I wanted to be on the family side of the debate because it's been very much on my mind recently. Earlier this year, my parents, both of whom are members of my family, sold my childhood home, the home in which they raised my brother and me. They owned the house for 43 years, and it was a very profound and emotional experience to go back to this home with my brother, another family member, and help my parents clean out this home and reflect on, not all happy memories, but, the sum total of our lived experience together, basically, as family. And in the course of emptying out the house, we found some notebooks in the attic, which we had never seen before, including this one. And my father, leafing through these notebooks, realized what they are. These are the high school journals of my paternal grandmother when she was a boy-crazed 16-year-old in the year 1910. Now keep in mind, I never met either of my grandmothers. They both died before I was born because my parents had a late start deciding whether or not to actually have a family. Basically, it took my dad 12 years to decide if he wanted to move from friends to family with my mom. Whatever, we don't resent him for that, it's fine. It's always great being the kid whose dad is like 25 years older than all your other friends' dads. It's great. All this to say, it was a very exhilarating and emotional experience for me to read the, again, high school diaries of a woman I never met, but who is directly responsible for me being a person. And that's the thing, and I'm not here to be funny. I'm here to make you people cry. This is the thing about, this is why family beat friends. If it wasn't for your family, you would not exist. Okay? And I don't mean like when you say with your friends, yeah, Tony got me through such a hard time when the Steelers lost, man. If it wasn't for him, I don't know if I'd be here. Whatever. The point is, you were there to be friends with Tony. What I'm saying is, without your family, you are a completely hypothetical construct that none of us can even imagine in our wildest fever dreams. You understand what I'm saying? Family is absolutely fundamental to you even being able to have the pretense of debating which is more important, friends or family. Family is the precondition for having friends. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's like, what's more important? The capability of expressing thought via language or funny accents? There's no debate. Now, I'm not a funny person, okay? So what I'm going to do is something more powerful. I'm going to make a naked appeal to your sense of sentimentality and all the mystery and wonder that you hold in your own hearts for those unknowable ancestors in the shadows of your own family history. I'm going to read to you now from my grandmother, whose name, by the way, was Winifred Flatman. So we win just the names in this fucking diary alone. I beg your pardon. The names in this goddamn fucking diary alone are enough to make you realize how baller old-timey family members are. Alright, so you'll just beg my indulgence. So this is from July 8th, 1910, Gloversville, New York. Now I'll begin to try and tell you some of our good times. but I'm afraid I can't write them down. I can only think and be happy. You guys have to understand, when I got home from that trip and sat down on the sofa and started reading this stuff, I was crying, okay? Grant met us, and you're gonna hear a lot about this dude, Grant. I'm not feeling old player Grant. Grant met us at Northville with the two-seater and team of gray and white horses. Yeah, it was 1910. That's what they did for fun. They rode around in horses. Like to see your friends riding up and down Bedford Avenue on a horse. Come on, players. As it was quite late, the horses ran past. They ran part of the way, and once they were going 240, I lost the parasol Mother had bought for me. I told you this is real. Did you ever see anything like it? I can't keep a thing in its place. 3 minutes. My heart and head not accepted. Grant and I have squabbled from the time we first met. We differ on everything, I guess, except a few choice subjects. Sunday afternoon, we all went to church in a little upstairs room. Grant sings in the choir, and of course, when we looked at him, he had to laugh. In the evening, Bertha's cousin and another fellow took us riding, way up some road or another. We had a dandy time, I can tell you, cooped up behind a little box. Then, after we got back, Grant and I sat out on the porch till nearly midnight. After we had been in bed about an hour, this is, and you must understand, she is not referring at this point to her and Grant. Ralph Jones, Walter Broke, and Cecil Elthorpe came down with something called an anvil, which I imagine is like a cannon, in which they shot off to wake us up, being the 4th of July. It shook the house so that I woke up, but then I slept right on. Monday morning, Grant took us riding, and we saw Camp Kuwasanga, where some Amsterdam fellows are staying. Of course, we waved and hollered to them, and they returned our salute. In the afternoon, we drove to the fish house and back through Edinburgh, Grant sitting between us. In the evening, we 3 girls went upon the hill to watch the fireworks from the park. I had been having the dandiest time just before that, teasing Emma and Grant. And when Ralph Jones, Harvey McAllis, and Cecil Elthorpe came along with us, at Emma's invitation, I was as mad as I could be, and I acted just hatefully towards Grant. And when he took hold of my hand to keep it warm, I said right before everybody, "Oh, Grant, you are too squishy for anything." My grandmother wrote that. She totally dissed this guy, Grant, because he had squishy hands. I don't have a big ending. I'm just saying, if you want to have an amazing experience, don't go poke around on your friend's Facebook page and like their Instagram thing about, yeah, they ate a salad, you know, whatever. We get it. Go find a dead relative who you never knew and read their diary. And again, you have to wrap your mind around this. And I'm not trying to be funny. This woman is the reason I am alive. Do you understand that? This sex-crazed, 16-year-old girl, obsessed with Grant, riding around in horse-drawn carriages. I didn't even get to the point where her Greek teacher says she's acting unladylike because when he left the room, they all tried to put their dresses over their heads. Anyway, I don't have an argument. All I have is this, and it's enough.